This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Von Allen Sports.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man Von Allen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
Von Allen Sports.
That was outstanding on so many levels. Look at that torque.
Check. Microphone check 1. Chicky check. Microphone check 2. Chicky check. Microphone check 3. You're tuned to the sounds of the DRE. Yeah. All right. What's up, my people? Running a little late tonight. I'm sorry about that, but it can't be helped. We got a lot to do. Have a Super Bowl party tomorrow. People coming in. People already come in. And all that. Getting ready. So I check it out. Check it out. Look, this isn't mine. So the red coat. He flew in. He got here a few hours ago. He's in the living room. And he brought this. So I could wear it. And actually, I'm wearing the Gronk jerk. He brought Gronk and Edelman. I'm going to wear the Gronk tomorrow, and he's going to wear the Edelman tomorrow. So I'm going to wear the Edelman now. Yeah, that would be cool if it was a blood cell, but it's cooler too because it's got the patch. So we're all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. So I don't like how it keeps folding on me. What is it doing? Have you even worn this before, Redcoat? It seems brand new. It's very, very stiff. It won't lay correctly. I want to show everybody that I represent the Patriots. Okay? And apparently Jordan. I don't know why. It was white, so it worked. But we always win in the white jerseys. We win Super Bowls in the white jerseys. We lose Super Bowls in the blue ones. Okay. Well, at least in the second dynasty, that's what happened. So let me see who's here. John is here. Phil is here. Alpha Courage was second. Nice. Phil was third. You guys are awesome. Mr. Graffiti. Who is that? Who is that? Justin Chetlett, what's up, man? Justin Chetlett. 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 Kenneth Flagler Jr. What's going on, Ken? How you been, man? Redcoat. There it is. Oh, he heard me talking shit about his jersey. By the way, Jason, you can leave this here if you want. You can leave the jersey here. You can just go back to England. It's fine. Everything is good. Okay, so that's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. You guys remember that meltdown I had? That was Brady's last game against the Cowboys. I said everything's fine. Everything is fine. Yeah, I had a total meltdown. What's up, Crossbearer? Okay, so we are on the eve of the Super Bowl, and we are back in it. That's so... I guess that's just so New England of us, right? That is just... That's how it works. So, gotta love it. I told you guys I would to do a pre-show. Of course, we'll be on tomorrow too, but I just wanted to talk about a few things that's been going on this week and stuff. And as you guys know, Matthew Staph Infection won the MVP. What, Matthew? What? Or I'm sorry, Michael. You had where? Yeah, you haven't been around in a while either. Haven't watched the game on TV. Okay, wow, interesting. Well, you're gonna watch this one, I'm assuming. So you should have at least watched the AFC Championship game. That was a high scoring, high flying, nonstop action game if there ever was one. The AFC Championship game is going to go down in history as one of the greatest NFL games ever played. I'm telling you, it was legendary. But something about this jersey that's interesting. So when I was in Boston at Gillette Stadium, they have this where you can put on Brady's jersey and his pads and his helmet. And I put all of it on. Dude, it fit me. Like, it actually fit me. Like, it worked. That's funny. I was like, huh. What's up with that? So I was thinking, I don't know. Maybe I'll go out there and try out this, of course, I really started thinking maybe I was going to go play quarterback for the Patriots after we saw Cam Newton and followed that up with other junk. So, but yeah, so Staph Infection, he won the MVP. Of course, Drake May came within one vote less, or it would have been a shared MVP. It would have been a tie. All he needed was one vote. So that just shows you how well of a year he had, that he got so close. And I think that still says something. I think that means something, that it just shows his growth and how quickly the turnaround has been. I think that's what that says. But like Alpha Courage saying, we want the trophy. And if he plays well, if he even plays decent, he's probably going to be MVP. And that's the MVP we want. Okay, so Yeah, some guy voted Herbert, but it doesn't mean that the Herbert vote would have went to Drake, right? I don't know. Like, I don't know if he was deciding between Drake or Herbert. He might have gone Stafford, and then it wouldn't have been so close, right? Who knows? But it's done, so whatever. I think it was a career achievement award, to be honest with you, for Stafford. And they're like, oh, he's older now, and Drake may has his future and all this junk. Well, they didn't think that about other younger players, but okay. Whatever. It's fine. It's not fine, but whatever. I think there were some traitors, though, on the inside there. And of course, after we had our last show, oh, sorry guys, I didn't sleep much last night. After the last show I had about Belichick not getting into the Hall of Fame, news broke, I think a day later, maybe 2 days later, news broke that Robert Kraft is not getting in again, which is interesting. If you look at the owners that are in, it's like, are you serious? Oh. Two writers voted for Josh Allen? Really? Why? I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's fucking stupid. It's making my head hurt. Why? Why? This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Can you understand anything I'm saying? Well, excuse me. What the hell is that? I don't ever sneeze. That was weird. It's rare. It's rare for me to sneeze. I think I just got Super Bowl anxiety, and that's and I'm freaking out, right? That's what this is. It's got to make sense, right? So Israel says the amount of pansies from Pat's Nation and the media and former players throwing shade at Tom for literally no reason was pathetic. So yeah, you're talking about the them giving Tom crap because Tom said, he has no dog in this fight or whatever. Well, first, let's get this out of the way. What I've preferred, what I've liked to have heard Tom say, of course I'm going for the Patriot. Let's go, baby. Of course I'd like to hear that. That would be cool. Does it bother me that he didn't? No, it doesn't. And the reason it doesn't bother me is because I understand it. There are three factors involved. Three main factors already that exist. One, he's part owner of the Raiders. Two, he's a national broadcaster. They always tend to try to be very neutral because they get accused of bias all the time. And three, the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks is about to be the head coach of the Raiders. And I think he's just trying to avoid that situation. I think in his head, okay, because Tom is odd sometimes. Like, I think in his head, he's not like us, okay? We're like regular people. We're very self-aware, but at that level, people like that, they don't see the world the way we're viewing it. They don't see it through the same lens. And I'm not saying it's good or bad or an excuse. I'm just giving you facts. And he probably thought, I'll just stay neutral and everyone will be okay with that. and that will be, that will be fine. Everyone will just be, oh, okay, oh, that's Tom being, whatever. I think in his head it sounded good, it sounded right and normal, and it just didn't go that way. I think that's what the problem is, and that's what happened. I think it's as simple as that. Nothing more than that. People are trying to read into it like, oh, he's mad because the way things went and all that stuff. But he already came to New England. He did the retirement ceremony. He did the statue thing. He did the Patriots Hall of Fame and that big thing that they did for him and everything. We've already been through all that. We know what he thinks. But his life is different now. And I see Boston people treating him like Larry Bird, saying, "Oh, Larry Bird's a traitor, so he's like Larry Bird." Well, again, Larry Bird went on to the organization of the Indiana Pacers. Nothing was stopping Boston Celtics from bringing Larry in some kind of general management role, and then eventually as coach or something. Nothing was stopping them from doing that at some point. They didn't. Nothing was stopping Robert Kraft from telling Tom, hey, you want to buy into a percentage of the Patriots? Hey, Tom, would you come in and would you work for us? Would you do this for us? Nothing was stopping that. And I'm not saying they had to do that. That's not my point. My point is that this isn't like Tom was giving the FU, on the way out the door to the Patriots. It wasn't, it just didn't happen like that. And I see revisionist history and trying to change how things went down. If anything, Tom wanted to stay a Patriot. He would have. He needed two things. He said, give me a contract, because he knew, the contract is not about money. Okay. He only took $25 million. That was peanuts for the Bucs. That was peanuts compared to what his value was and what other guys were getting paid. It was nothing. It wasn't the money. It's not why you want the contract. The contract is two things. The contract is respect, but mainly, and the most important part is the contract is commitment. It means you won't kick me out the door because you think I'm too old, because you'd be blowing that money. And it guarantees that pretty much, he gets to stay and do what he wants and retires the way he wants to retire. That's what he asked of the Bucs, is that he said, I want 2 years, 25 is fine, 25 per is fine. And, but I want a commitment of 2 years. I don't want anybody, crawling up my butt. I don't want to be hassled. I don't want this to be a Bill Walsh with Joe Montana, Steve Young thing. It's give me 2 years, get me a 2-year commitment at least, and I'm good. And we'll work around, all the other things like salary cap and all that stuff. This is what happened, folks. It's really what happened. And not only that, but Bill was becoming an asshole, and he wasn't pulling back at all. Like, he wasn't doing anything to try to, reach across the aisle and say, hey, I'll give here. Maybe I won't give you so much crap about your TB12 thing. Maybe I won't give you so much crap about this. Maybe I'll give you more input on the selection of getting free agents or something, or whatever it may be. Okay. This is what it was going to take to get Tom and to keep Tom. And to be honest with you, it was a steal. And then I hear people say, "Oh, well, we had to move on from Tom. We didn't know that he wasn't any good anymore, or we didn't know that he was still good. We couldn't have risked it." Who did you risk it for? You see what I mean? Like, I hear people say that, "Oh, we had to move on as an organization. We had to move on. We had to move on. We had to move on." Move on to what? Cam Newton? That's what we moved on to, guys, because that's what we moved on to. That was the great big idea, was to move on to Cam Newton. So you can't say that, oh, we would have taken a risk by giving Tom that 2-year contract. It was no risk because you had nobody. If you had somebody, well, that's a bit different, right? That's a bit different. It's not like you're about to draft Andrew Luck, right? And at least you have some kind of logical reason that you can state to people and say, oh, this is why we're doing this. No, you couldn't do that. You had nothing. You had Jarrett Stidham. All right. And he didn't even get the job. They gave it to Cam. And we saw that, what happened there. That Jarrett Stidham still ain't got a starting job. So he clearly wasn't the answer. There's something about him that we don't know, that for some reason that he can't get a starting job in this league. So it's just, let's not try to rewrite history and pretend like Tom's some, Judas. He's not going to play Judas for us, guys. That's not how this works. Tom Brady is the greatest thing that's ever happened to New England Patriots. And, nothing can change that. I don't even care if he went full on Michael Jordan, psycho, whatever. Still don't care. It doesn't change anything. But he didn't do that. He just said it wrong. It just, he again, in his head, he thought it sounded good. In his head, he thought it sounded, legitimate and okay. And everybody would just be like, oh, okay. And that's probably what he thought. You know how he is. You know how he talks. You've seen him. You know how he does that political bullshit. He always done it. Him and Bill, they've always done it. If you guys remember, that there was one time where Tom said 90% of the things I say to the media in public is bullshit. 90%. 90%. So when he says something like he's neutral or doesn't have a dog in the fight, it's bullshit. He said what he thought was the best and most expedient way to move on from the question. And that would shut it down and it would be okay. And it just blew up in his face. He used the wrong words. I don't have a dog in this fight. That sounds bad. Okay. It does. It just comes off weird. Whatever. But anyway, he fixed that anyway. So he released a statement about Kraft, and so he tried to make it more personal. That way, again, he's still not coming across as a Patriots fanboy while he's the owner of the Raiders. Okay, a fellow AFC competitor. And like I said, his job and the coach thing, it's just, it's a lot of awkwardness right there. It's a lot of weirdness, and I don't need him to sit there and do that just to make me feel better. He doesn't have to do anything to make me feel better. He's Tom Brady. We got 6 Super Bowls because of that man. Okay. Our team even matters because of him. It's not going to bother me. It's not going to, upset me or anything. So. Yeah, that's a good point, Michael. Like he never mentioned the Seahawks coordinator, of course. But we know that's a reason. We know that's what he's thinking. And everybody knows that's what they're looking at. It's no secret. That's why the guy didn't get hired, at the other openings. And there's no openings left now. Everyone knows that that's the guy that the Raiders are going with. So. Another thing, we wouldn't be in the Super Bowl right now if it wasn't for Tom. And I'll tell you why. Firing Gerard Mayo was a big deal for Kraft. And here's why. Kraft doesn't like to spend money. Spend money. When I say spend money, I should say he doesn't like to waste money. Okay. He doesn't like to waste money, meaning he doesn't want to put money into something that doesn't have a return on investment of any kind. And firing Gerard Mayo is not just firing one coach. You're firing an entire coaching staff. So you're firing everybody. So he's paying like 30 people right now a salary to sit on their ass, okay, and be watching football just like the rest of us. Because Tom won that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, that lit a fire under Robert Kraft. And after going 4-13 2 years in a row, and then when Belichick left, and then he went with Mayo, and it happened again. That desire to just my point is, he would not have done that if Tom had not been successful outside of New England. He would have given Mayo another year, maybe even another 2 years, to kind of work it out and see what happens. If Tom doesn't win that Bucs Super Bowl, I don't think that Mayo, that Kraft has what it, I don't think he fires Mayo and then brings in Vrabel and then spends all the money that we've spent on bringing these guys in. I just don't think it happens. Now, the 4-13 was a blessing, this last one, because it was part of the project. It's nice to get Vrabel, okay? It's great to have Vrabel. He's a great coach. We know that, smart guy, great historical patriot in every way. But if you don't have the quarterback, it doesn't matter who your coach is. And we didn't have the quarterback. It just, there wasn't, we didn't have that guy. That 4-13 season last year, the 4-13 this season before, apologies, the 4-13 season before, Belichick's 4-13, gave us Drake May. And I think Kraft, he's like, okay, so we got a high pick, highest quarterback we've ever taken since Drew Bledsoe. And I can't remember, but I don't think Kraft drafted Drew Bledsoe. So it might have been Kraft's highest. I think Kraft bought the team after that, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's like 1 year around that. So anyway, it's one of the highest he's ever taken. So Kraft had these expectations. And to go 4-13 again, immediately, I think just really killed him with the Tom Brady stuff and all that. So all these things are just, they're dominoes that fall in order, so. Okay, that's what I thought, Michael. Thank you. I could have sworn that Kraft did not draft Bledsoe. I thought he inherited him. And I know he inherited Bill Parcells. So I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But give me just 1 second, guys. The hell, I didn't open that. Wrong thing. Do 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 do. Do 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 da da. But do 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 but do. Okay. Yeah. You like that? You like that? Yeah, the thing with Mayo, I think, was a I don't know if it was contractual agreement or not, but I think it was an understood agreement that Mayo would be the successor or something. So basically, I think Kraft just wanted to get through that crap, but I think if we were better than 4-13, we were like showing signs of being okay. Let's say we're just 8-9. I'm not so sure that Kraft wouldn't have given him another year. He might have. So but I think Kraft's in a hurry. He wants that 7th ring. So, but none of this would be possible without the Tom Brady. So. Yeah, Stiddy Mania. I remember that. Yeah, Brett Favre signed with the Vikings so he could play Green Bay. That's true. That's what he said. Uh, Mr. Graffiti, Fetty, whatever it is. Um, is that how you say it? Uh, but Brady, he said Brady's issue is that he still wants to be the quarterback, and he's a little jealous. Even Gronk said that. That's not quite what Gronk meant. He was kind of trying to make a joke. He was saying that Tom wants to actually still be playing. You know, Gronk kind of meant it tongue in cheek, kind of not like serious, like, oh, Tom's jealous. You know that. Uh, at least that's how I take it. But the yeah, the M says everyone knows Brady's huge connection with the Pats. Being neutral was a wrong move. He could say professionally, I don't want to take sides, but personally, I hope the Pats win. That's my point. Exactly. So he could have found a different way to say it that kind of makes it both. Like there's just a way to say it where you can achieve both things at the same time. And it certainly wasn't, I don't have a dog in this fight. That was like the worst thing, you know. By the way, Tom has said some things that really got him into trouble before. So you guys remember during Deflategate, someone asked him, do you believe that you're a cheater? And he goes, well, I don't think I am. And I know what he meant by that. He meant, I don't think I broke any rules that I know of. You know, that's what he meant. That's what was in his head. But it came out like really bad. And what he should have said is, no, hell no. What are you talking about? This is stupid. But it just didn't happen like that. It just didn't come out like that. And he meant something different. So yeah. Yeah. Is there a part of him that wants to be the only guy to bring the Super Bowl to the Patriots organization? This is the answer I have for that. When a guy is injured and he sits on the sidelines watching his team win, are you happy for them? Like, for example, Rob Gronkowski, when he was on the sidelines watching Super Bowl 51, what do you do there? What is your thinking process there? I mean, it's kind of weird, right? Or when Bo Nix was watching the Broncos last week, you're sitting there thinking, if they win, well, that's nice. Good for my teammates. I'm happy for them, and I'm happy. But at the same time, wait, if they can win without you, what does that mean about you? That creeps into people's heads. So Milena's picking up a Patriots cake and Super Bowl cupcakes that I ordered from Ralph's. Ralph's. If you don't know what Ralph's is, that's like our local version of Kroger. It's the same chain, I think. But they made us pay, or they want us to pay in person, so they like didn't take a credit card or anything. She's picking it up right now. She texted me. She said, "Was the order paid for?" I said, no. Their policy was to pay in person, which I don't understand, but okay, it's fine. I mean, what if you don't pick up the cake? Then they're stuck with the cake that they made. But that is their policy. And why am I telling you this? Because I wanted to tell you that I got a Patriots cake. Ooh. Okay. Oh, so one thing I want to tell you guys is this is entirely up to you. This is optional. It has nothing to do with anything other than just for fun. But at our Super Bowl party tomorrow, I'm hosting Super Bowl squares. Okay? Doing a football pool. If you guys want a square, okay? So each square is $2. $2. $2. So there's only 100 squares. Did I just say squares? What the squares? There's 100 squares. Oh, there's 100 squares. $2. If you want your name in this, and I'll put it in there for tomorrow's party. If you want your name in there, if you want to buy some squares, just send a super chat on Rumble. Or tell me that you want some, and then you can just send it later, whatever. It's up to you. But if you want involved, because I got to fill up this board. It's 100 squares. It's a lot of squares. So hopefully we'll fill it up. If there's any empty squares, then we will just skip that one and then go to the closest next one. So there's 4 quarters here. So there'll be a winner for each quarter. And then, of course, once we have all the names, then I'll randomly assign the numbers to the home and away team. Probably using some let's say some dice or just a computer generator, like a random generator to put the numbers. Either way, it's not a big deal. But so I think the total that can be won if we sell every square is $200, and then that would be $50 per quarter. So someone could win $50 per quarter, but the same person can win more than one quarter. I remember in the 90s, I did one. I worked at the Men's Warehouse, and we did one there, and it was for the Falcons Broncos Super Bowl, and I won the first 3 quarters. I got them all like boom, 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 and it was something like $150. I remember I went and bought a PlayStation with the money. That was nice. So it's a good memory of that. So I thought it'd be fun. So I'm going to sell these squares to people who come to the party tomorrow. And then I thought I would let you guys get involved, because I don't think I can fill up all 100 just with the people that are coming. I mean, you never know, but I don't know. That seems like a lot of squares. So I thought I'd let you guys get involved if you want to. So if you want a square, then go ahead and the super chat link is at the top there. It's pinned to the top. If you send that there, you can do that as many squares as you want. So $2 per square. Also, I want to say shout out to Crossbearer25 on Rumble. Thank you for being here, buddy. Appreciate you. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see if we're successful in getting the cake. Ah. Did you get it? Yeah, man. So yeah, one cake is just Patriots. And oh, I had them right on it. Quest for 7. Yeah. And the other is just cupcakes with the Super Bowl logo and the two teams' helmets. Is it wrong for you to pray for Milton Williams to be named Super Bowl MVP? No. That'd be interesting, though. He played well. He played well against the Chiefs. I know that. So I have to tell you guys something. This game is going to be tough. I've been looking at Seattle's games from over the season, and I really haven't had a close look at them. Be honest with you, we just didn't really cross paths with each other, the Patriots and Seahawks, and it's you know, there wasn't a lot of crossover there. But this is going to be brutal. If we win, it's going to be a grind, dude. I will say this, from what I've seen and from what I've watched closely, just rewatching their games, is that they don't seem to have any weaknesses that are glaringly obvious. Okay? And what I mean by that is I don't see any major issues. Like, you can't say, oh, well, their run game is garbage, so at least we can focus on that. You can't say, oh, their secondary is garbage or whatever. Everything has some really good points about it. Everything, you know, is pretty good. Some things are better than others, of course, but everything, there's not a huge dip off there. So this is about the most complete team you're going to see this year. I think really what this is going to come down to, honestly, and I know this is going to sound, I don't know if you want to call it typical or whatever, but it's about whether or not Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, or if he is this new guy that we think that people are thinking he is, and he's kind of pretending to be. Is he that guy, or is he just along for it, you know? And I can't tell sometimes, because I'm watching their games and I'm not seeing him do anything that I don't think most quarterbacks could do. Do you know what I mean? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. That just means that he's taking what the defense gives him, and he's making the right decision each time. But I have seen some games where he is rattled, and there's that little bit of old Sam Darnold in him, that Jets Sam Darnold, right? Where I'm unsure and where I'm concerned, honestly, is the offense, our offense. I know it's been rough against some rough defensive stuff, but it has been rough, and we've gone through this gauntlet. I know this gauntlet of defense and stuff, but I am not. I'll put it this way: I am not confident in this game. I'm not confident that. I think it's 50-50 here. I can't lie to you. I mean, you guys, you know, watch and you know, because you know that I'll give you the honest truth. And I don't see an easy path to victory here. And what I mean by easy is, please don't take that word quite literally. I mean, in what like for example, let me rephrase that. Just scratch that. I didn't even mean it like that. I don't see a path like the one I've seen in previous Super Bowls. Going into the Carolina Panthers Super Bowl back in 03, I was fairly confident that we were going to win that game. That team was just so good that year, and I didn't respect the Panthers. And it wasn't even until we got in the Super Bowl and then we got in a slugging match with these guys, then I was like, oh, okay, they're okay, I get it. As where when we played the Eagles in 04, I was unsure. Okay, so I was like, okay, this could go either way. Philadelphia, that Philly team that year, and well, that Philly team that era, that several years where they went to 5 straight NFC Championship games, I respected them a lot. It's just this one is troublesome. The more I watch the Seahawks film this week, so I think something really odd is going to happen in the beginning of the game that doesn't make any sense. Something weird. I just have a weird feeling something shocking is going to happen. Like, you guys remember Denver and Seattle, and the first possession that Peyton Manning had went over his head and into this for the safety? Or when Tom Brady threw a pass against the Giants in 2011, and that was a safety? Or when Devin Hester ran the kickoff back for a touchdown, and then okay, this Super Bowl is weird. Like, there's some Super Bowls that just start out funny, and you're just like, what the hell is that? What was that at all? I don't understand what just happened. I have a feeling that is going to happen. Something odd is going to happen. I don't even know who for. I don't even know who's going to benefit. But this whole matchup and these playoffs and how things have gone, this can't be a normal Super Bowl. It just can't. It's going to be strange. It's going to be strange. It's going to be close. And I think that the Seahawks are going to get the lead. I think they're going to be up for a while for the game. It looks like we're getting beat. Not too bad. I'm not talking about they're not going to have a huge lead, but I'm just saying that they just stay ahead of us. They just they score, we score, they score, we score, but they keep staying ahead. Not by a big margin. But my prediction is that we pull it out in the end, and it took me a lot to come to this conclusion. I almost picked Seattle. In fact, I went back and forth this week. Came close to picking Seattle. But as the week went on and I watched more things and stuff, then it started tilting me the other way. And I mean, come on, people can say, oh, well, there's bias. Of course there always is. You're having wishful thinking and you're hoping that something, but I tried to be as, unbiased as I could, looking at the situation. But I think that this Patriots team reminds me of one of those, what they call fluke teams. Wrongfully, they call them fluke teams, but they call them that. We're talking 07 Giants type of thing, right? Where you look at the list of Super Bowl winners and the one doesn't make sense. It's like, what is that? That kind of, it's like, why are they there? Why are they the winner? That just sits there very strangely, and it doesn't make any sense to anybody. I think that's us. I think that is this. I think everything that's transpired to get to this point, I just see it finishing. I just do. I can picture Drake May holding up the trophy at the end. So I'm going 28-24. And you might recognize that score, because that score's happened before. Do you know what game that score came from? And I didn't pick it because it happened before. That's literally, I like added up like what I thought the points and how they were going to go. And that is the conclusion I came to. Exactly. It's going to be Super Bowl 49 all over again. 28-24 without the crazy ending, like with the Malcolm Butler type thing, of course, because when does that ever happen? You know, that's very, very rare. But I think it'll be interesting at the end, of course. But I'm saying, I think that we get the ball last, and it's 24-21, and we only need a field goal to tie it, but we don't tie it. We score. We score a touchdown. We put the game away. And they may get the ball back for like a second or two. You know, it might be like the Ravens 49ers Super Bowl where the last possession is pointless, you know, and they may get to touch the ball a little bit, but it won't matter. So I watched these guys handle the Texans, Israel, and I've watched them handle the Broncos, and I think they'll be fine. And this time it's nice, and you know, it's a neutral site. As far as I know, there's no weather of any kind, no rain or wind or anything. There might be, but I don't think that would matter much. But this is very, very like there is not a lot of confidence in this. Okay. What I mean by that is whoever wins or loses, I'm not going to be surprised. Like if Seattle wins, it's not going to be, oh my God, what an upset. I can't believe that the Seahawks, you know. I honestly feel like nobody thinks we can win this, and it seems like everyone thinks that, but you know, I've seen this before. And I don't know, I feel like we look like one of those weird teams that just aren't supposed to be there, and then they end up winning. Again, 07 Giants, the 01 Patriots. Teams like that. It's just, be quite honest with you, the Packers Broncos. We look at it now through a lens of that Broncos team, you know, going on a run and winning 2 Super Bowls. But when it happened, I mean, Green Bay was clearly the team. They were the new up and coming dynasty. They were supposed to be, you know. That was clearly the thing. And Denver goes in and wins that. It's like, okay, what the hell is that all about? You know? And then we like, oh, okay, it makes sense now once times transpires. But it's the same with the Patriots, 01 Patriots. Well, we don't think about it anymore, or many people don't think about the 01 Patriots in that singular moment anymore. They think about it in the context of a dynasty. So of course they won. But no, it wasn't like that at first. And I see this team as, I'm not saying as a dynasty, I'm saying I see it as a team that nobody really, just that team kind of awkwardly gets to the Super Bowl, and it's kind of very weird how their path to get there, and then they just end up winning. They just end up playing the game of their life, you know. So we've seen Drake May all year make these throws that are just freaking weird and crazy and just utterly shocking. All right. He's going to make some of those. He's finally going to get a chance to really just sling the ball out there, throw it around. And, you know, haven't had that in a while. We know why, of course, but it's like I said, it seems like it's going to be fine in Santa Clarita. Santa Clara, sorry. Santa Clarita is here in LA. Santa Clara, San Francisco, whatever. So, but I say that with very little confidence as far as the winner each way. But I certainly wouldn't bet on this game. I know that. I don't think there's a way you can go that I would put money on it. Not unless you're just doing it for fun, but not in any serious way anyway. Like I said, Seattle is they're good. They're really good. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed by what I've seen. So yeah, Phil, that's a good point. So a lot of what's going on right now is that Seattle fans and other fans are just looking at the AFC Championship game. They're only watching that. You have to go back further than that because the playoffs are a different animal. First of all, in the playoffs, you're playing, teams of varying specialties, and you need to look at a bigger, overall. I wanted to look at teams that we played that are similar to Seattle. And then I wanted to look at teams that Seattle played that are similar to the Patriots. And they have a similar type of roster, similar type of coaching, even similar type of offenses. Although most teams play, similar. But yeah, it's just oh, here's somebody who says, if the Patriots beat the Seahawks, the 2025 Denver Broncos will go down as the biggest what if in NFL history. How? Why? What is that supposed to mean? He's making it sound like the Denver Broncos was like the 98 Vikings. The Broncos were nothing special this year. What is this? What is this phenomenon that's been happening? This idea that this Denver team was a team of destiny or something, and they were just this all-time great team. No one's going to remember this Denver team. It's never going to be remembered. No one is going to give a crap, okay, ever again about this Denver team. They weren't impressive during the year. They weren't impressive in the playoffs, and they certainly weren't impressive in the AFC Championship game specifically. Who cares? They're nothing. They don't matter anymore. They lost. They're gone. They're done. They're not even AFC champions. So you're not even in the history books anymore. Nobody cares about you. It's over. It's finished. Again, this isn't the 98 Vikings with Randy Moss and Randall Cunningham. Okay? That is a what if. Okay? We got robbed of seeing John Elway versus Cunningham and Vikings Broncos. Instead, we got the Falcons. Okay? Who was the damn quarterback of the Falcons at the time? What was his face? Oh, shit. I don't know. His name falls out of my head. But yeah, it was a bad Super Bowl, except I won some money off of it. But it was, we knew it was going to be a bad Super Bowl. But this myth of this Denver team, this what if we can't beat Denver, they can't. I mean, we can't beat Seattle, they can't. And I don't know about you guys, but I would think that Denver probably doesn't want to see Seattle again. After the last time they got completely and utterly embarrassed on a world stage. Okay. So this whole idea that we somehow stole this from them. Let me tell you something. Your quarterback got hurt. Okay. That sucks. Okay? That generally sucks. I would hate that. I would hate to have to be playing, with a backup in an AFC Championship game. That would be terrible, right? I mean, nobody wants to see Dobson out there throwing the ball, right? And here's the problem, though. Bo Nix isn't Drake May, okay? Bo Nix wasn't having an MVP year. that wasn't even the thing about their team. That like he's not even. To be quite honest with you, Denver looks similar to me. They except Bo can run the ball a bit, and that probably would have been useful in the game. But I didn't really see much difference. Like it's not this vast change, Oh, Bo Nix played. They would have blown out. They would have blown out the Patriots. Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, because that was Joe Montana that they were missing, right? Remember, they tried to sell us that Stiddy was Steve Young coming in to replace Joe Montana. That Stiddy was Drew Bledsoe coming in for Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh. That's what they were trying to sell us. That's what they were saying. And the moment that we won the game, they hung Stiddy out to dry. And all of a sudden he was garbage. Oh, well, you only beat us because we had a garbage backup. Okay. So that's how it is. So they're trying to rewrite history here, and they're trying to make it sound like that this is the rob of this century. Okay, your quarterback got hurt. Part of sports. The whole point of playing a season, it's a marathon. Okay? If it was all one game, like people make a joke, they say in basketball, why don't they give both teams 100 points and let them play for 5 minutes and see who wins? Because they always score 100, right? Normally. But you're missing the point. The length of the game is a war of attrition. It is a marathon. It's a who can last the longest, and then when it gets tight, when everyone's tired at the end, who comes out the winner? You need that marathon that seems pointless of just going back and forth. You need that. That determines it. That's the season. That's the regular season. And staying healthy is part of that dynamic. That's what your team is for. That's what the team doctors are for. That's what your trainers are for. Okay? And that's what taking care of yourself and taking care of your body and all those things as elite athletes. That right there, staying on the field, is as much as a stat as anything else. Okay? I don't care how accurate you are if you're never playing on the team. So don't give me this, oh, well, he's hurt. Everybody has injuries and gets hurt. Okay? It sucks. Yeah. Losing your quarterback. That's a big deal. I'm just asking you not to go and cry about it. Like it was the robbing of the century, like the Patriots did something wrong to you, And because we didn't blow out Denver, all of a sudden it's an indictment against us. Like we're some kind of garbage crap team, and it's our fault. It's our fault that we're in the Super Bowl. It's like we did something wrong, like we did something bad. That's how they make it sound. Okay? And then they make it to where you can't even be like, a good sportsman and say, hey, we're sorry to hear about your quarterback. Sorry, that sucks. And, we know it would have been a good game, and all that. You say all that bullshit, right? But they don't even give you a chance to say that because they're sitting there taking shots at your quarterback. And it's just really, really ridiculous how they've gone and taken this and just Mr. What If. Bo Nix is now going to be remembered as Mr. What If. In a negative way. I don't know if you guys seen that meme going around, but who's to say Bo Nix wouldn't have played even worse? Okay? Here's why. Just hear me out. With Bo Nix, they might have been more confident, or they would have been more confident to make throws and call plays that they wouldn't make with Stidham. Well, that might have actually gone against them. So Bo Nix might have thrown picks, a bunch of picks that end up being pick sixes or some kind of other bad situation. You just don't know that it doesn't go the other direction. See, the dynamic changes. When you change one thing, you change everything, especially when you change the quarterback. So it could go one way or the other. It could go very wrong. All right? Let's say Bo Nix is playing. First of all, the Patriots defense is now altered and what they think is going to happen. So the plays they call, the scheme they come up with, is going to be, well, the scheme is the scheme, but the slightly, the alterations, right? And the disguises and things like that. They're going to look at Bo Nix's tape. They're going to look at Stidham. So the defense is going to be altered some, the way the Patriots approach it. The Patriots offense is also going to be altered. Because let's say Bo Nix goes out there and lights up the scoreboard, like Denver fans are saying that's what would have happened. Apparently, Bo Nix is Joe Montana going out there and putting up points like a madman. Well, what would the Patriots offense be doing? Well, they would be calling offensive plays that keep us in the game. So big plays. We need bigger chunk yardage plays. Can't be as conservative, can't be as careful. We've got to start forcing the ball down the field. And that may result in more points. So now all of a sudden, we have a high-scoring game on both sides, not just on Denver's side. See, that's the way Denver fans are thinking, though. They, in their minds, if Bo Nix plays, then the Patriots defense plays exactly the same. Everything's exactly the same. And the Patriots offense plays exactly the same way, very conservative and just trying to run out the clock. That's in their mind. That's what they think. How's it going? Did you retrieve our cargo?
Refrigerated or not?
I don't think that's necessary.
Only the cake.
But can you do me a favor? My clothes are in the washer. They need to be moved over to the dryer.
Yeah. They need to know them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Guys, I'm doing laundry. The whole world knows now. I had it muted. No, I didn't. Hey, can I have one of those? What's up? What's up?
What?
I want one. I want to show them.
Which one? Vanilla or just...
Vanilla, definitely vanilla. I don't like chocolate. I'm going to show you these cupcakes. They're badass. Well, they better be anyway. Ask her to make me a sandwich. She did that before she left. She made Redcoat a sandwich too. I don't even know where he is. I think he fell asleep on the couch, honestly. He didn't get any sleep on the plane. It's one of those flights. Sometimes you sleep well and sometimes you don't. Anyway, is anyone even listening to my rant or am I just talking to myself? All right. But anyway, you get what I'm saying, guys. You get what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying. It's things are altered when things are altered. Isn't that shocking? Isn't that amazing? Another perfect example, okay? A perfect example of this. Ah, crap. Well, it's such a nice jersey. I'm going to have to like hide it somewhere and let Redcoat go back and act like, and he'll think that he has it. And you know what I'll do? I'll just take like an old white t-shirt and he'll think it's folded up and I'll just say, here's your jersey back. And he puts it in the laundry. He doesn't know. And then I keep this one. That's how it works. So it's nice, huh? Anyway, you guys remember 2018 NFC Championship game, Saints, Rams. Okay? We all know what happened. We all know what happened. That was one of the worst no calls in history. It might be the worst no call in history. And just completely changed the game. Well, there's two things that we know. One, the Saints still had chances, so you've got to, you know, you still have a chance to capitalize on that. But yeah, it sucks though. I mean, that should have put the game away. It's not fair. It's not right. All right, and I get that. And I'm on their side about that. To that point. Here's where they lose me. It's when they say, oh, they look at this Super Bowl and they see the Rams and Patriots play each other and they see that the score is 13-3. And everybody says that Super Bowl sucked If that was the Saints, which it should have been, okay, we would have blown out the Patriots. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that. That's nice.
No refrigeration?
I don't think so. Does it seem like it was refrigerated?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Will you try it? You let me know.
I don't think so. Yeah. Check this out, guys. The green screen's messing it up a little bit, but it looks really nice, and it's much clearer in person. They're nice looking, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, kitty cat, don't steal. That's my cupcake, kitty cat. Bad kitty. Okay. So you guys know where I'm going with this already, right? The Super Bowl would have been a blowout because the Patriots could only score 13 and the Saints are a high scoring team, and that's their thing. We definitely would have played better than that. So it should have been us. We would have won the Super Bowl. Okay. That's what they think it is. They think it works that way. They think that life works that way. This is why they should never be able to write any Saints fan should not be able to write a screenplay about time travel, because they would completely screw it up, because they wouldn't understand that when you change something, everything changes it. And oh, perfect. Thank you. What's that? No refrigeration?
I'm asking you.
I don't think so. No, but it's good. Okay. The Rams, here's why it was such a low scoring game. The Rams had a coach named Wade Phillips, defensive coordinator. A different type of personnel on that team. It's a coordinator that we particularly have struggled with, that Tom Brady has struggled with. We all know that Wade Phillips had been a pain in our ass for a long time. And that was slowing the offense down. But Aaron, that doesn't explain why the Rams didn't score. Well, the Rams didn't score because, well, we knew their scheme because of Brian Hoyer. So that's why they didn't score. So you've got Tom Brady running into a brick wall that is Wade Phillips, and you've got Jared Goff running into a brick wall that is they know everything you're doing. Okay. So what do you do with that? That's how you get a Super Bowl that is 13-3. That's how that happens. You put the Saints in there. Guess what everything changes now. Okay, so that's a Saints team that is, Drew Brees is stat horror personified. So you've got nothing but throwing, nothing but offense. Trying to keep up with that. It's going to be a different game. It's going to be an open game. They don't have that coordinator on the Saints. They don't have the Wade Phillips, and they don't even have the same personnel to do those things. Whole different game now, right? So now it's a shootout. But no, in the Saints' mind, Saints fans' minds, we still have 13. Okay? The exact same thing happens. Okay? Their defense holds us to 13, and we can't score most of the game. In their minds, that's how it works. Just like in their minds that we call everything the same way. Josh McDaniels is very conservative with the ball at the end, even if Bo Nix is running up the score. That's how their mind works. That's exactly how their mind works. Do you have any idea how small-minded that is? How how ridiculous you have to be to think that those things equal that. It's even inside a game, you couldn't say that. For sure. You could not say that that went on to be that unless it happens right after. So when someone is about to score a touchdown and they throw a pick instead in the first quarter, and then they go and they lose by 4 points because a field goal is not good enough to tie the game at the end. How many times do you see people go, well, if they hadn't thrown that damn pick in the end zone, they would have won. Oh, okay. So had you thrown that touchdown in the first quarter, you think the game would have transpired and just unfolded exactly the same way? Really? You don't think the opposing team now would be actually changing the way they do things because you went up a touchdown in the first quarter? You don't think now all of a sudden they're like feeling pressure and now they're chasing it? So now they're going to try to go for this. And they're going to do things that they wouldn't have normally done had they been ahead by 7. So now everything changes, all of it. And then 3 quarters transpire between the 2 points that you're saying 1 equals this. Does it work like that? It doesn't work that way. Life isn't that way. Nothing is that way, especially a game with so many variables involved. You know, it just doesn't work like that. That really can only work if it's a direct result. Okay, so like you need to do X thing in order to get a possession or something like that. Then that is when that changes. But if there's time in between where lots of decisions are made in between that time, it really isn't that. It doesn't really work like that. But people seem to think it does, and it really baffles me when those things happen. You know, so. Yes, elf, and see, that's what I believe too. As far as like if time travel was real, if it's, you're not changing your time, you're creating a new one. So when you return, if it's altered, you're actually someone else now. You're a different version of you, and the things that you think are changed are actually just a new reality. I think if like as far as in sci-fi terms, I think that is how it would transpire, and that's how I would write it if I was writing, something like that. So it's yeah, but that's a whole different subject. But you get my point. That this delusion, the what ifs and all that. It's what if the Patriots won this Super Bowl in 2007? Guess what? Tom Brady doesn't get injured. We can do this all day. Are we supposed to hang a banner up now because we would have won in 2008? Well, we don't know that we would have won. We like to think that we would have. I mean, everything seems to make sense that we would have, right? Maybe that should have been us playing the Cardinals in the 2008 Super Bowl. Does that suddenly mean that the Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl is not valuable anymore? Does it not count? Is it tainted? Should I have had an asterisk there? Oh, this is the year Tom Brady was out. Otherwise, we would have been there. What does that mean? How about this? What if we do win 2007 and go undefeated? Meaning that we don't play Kansas City on a Sunday. We're playing somebody else on a Thursday night because we're the defending champions and we're the season opener. Tom Brady doesn't get hurt. And we go on to the Super Bowl. Let's say we do make the Super Bowl. Let's say we put out Pittsburgh. And we go and we lose to the Cardinals. And now the Cardinals have a Super Bowl. And Kurt Warner's got his 2nd ring. And he gets his revenge. Oh, you didn't think about that though, did you? You only thought about I'm saying people who think this way. You only thought about, oh, the Patriots would have just gone back to back. Might have blown up in the, I'm not saying that still would have been preferable because we win the Super Bowl in 2007. But my point here is that there is no guarantee. We could sit here and do this all day long, and we could use it to our benefit, and we could say, oh, well, we should have 2 straight Super Bowls now, whatever, man, whatever, and I think we could have won in 2017 had we just changed a few things, but we didn't make the changes. And Tom got strip sacked, and that ruined the drive. Tom damn near won the damn Super Bowl, even with Bill Belichick making those terrible decisions. But we didn't. And that's just how it works. I feel that we could have, had a good chance, but there's no guarantee. And these Broncos fans are acting like if Bo Nix played, they win. It's and for all they know, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse. It could have been embarrassing, like very embarrassing. So. What's up, Josh? How you doing? Hey, did John, how did your thing go? How did your tournament go? Your Taekwondo tournament? Did you mention it here and I missed it? Nathan says, if its and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Nobody knows how 1998 Falcons Broncos Super Bowl or 2019 Super Bowl with the Saints and Patriots. You meant a Vikings Broncos. Yeah, not a fantasy, exactly. What the shit?
For diabetes.
You mean to get diabetes? Thank you. Try these Kinder Bueno. Huh? Yeah, but you might want to check on Amelia. So. Nice, John. That's great to hear. Awesome. Phil Williamson sit here. He mentioned something interesting. He says we couldn't have gotten a Giants Patriots rematch in 2008 if Brady didn't tear his ACL and Plaxico Burress didn't shoot himself. So, this is not exactly about that, but yeah, I see that you say Plaxico Burress. So, everybody says the helmet catch in 2007 Super Bowl is the thing that done us in. It's not. There were things that transpired after that. The Giants needed a touchdown. We didn't have to give up a touchdown. And that helmet catch was not a touchdown. It was not inside the 5, okay, where all you have to do is just pop it in. We had to give up a terrible, terrible play to Plaxico Burress wide open for that to happen. We still had to do that. That Super Bowl wasn't over with the helmet catch. Nowhere near it. All it did, it got Eli out of trouble and it got the first down. But how many times have we kept people out of the end zone? Except the only difference here is that they get an extra down because they're not going to kick it because they have no choice but to go for it. So all we had to do was keep Eli Manning from scoring a touchdown, not a field goal. We didn't lose by a field goal. It's not like we gave up the helmet catch that got them in the field goal range and then they kick it and we lose by 1. Didn't work like that. But if you listen to people, You would think that's what happened. But that's not what happened. We still had chances. We still had chances to stop that from happening. Tom Brady gave us the lead. Now, granted, that team has no excuses for not scoring more than they did. But he did put us up, did give us the lead, and they blew it. And that's what I'm saying. You know, the what ifs, if you do the what if game, it's not even the helmet catch. They still had another down, or 2 more downs after that, I think. That was a second down play, wasn't it? The helmet catch? Either a second down or third down, but they were in 4th down territory. So they had plenty of chances they might have just got another first down after that in a different manner. But after the helmet catch, they still had to score those, you know, and we blew the coverage. We didn't have to do that. That we could have forced an incompletion there, and they would have had to do something else and something else and something else and something else. And that's Eli. Okay, that wasn't Peyton we were playing. I mean, I like our chances, honestly. I like our chances there. But we didn't get it done. Asante Samuel, he could have had an interception, and he didn't get it. You know, these things happened. And they didn't go our way. It sucks. It sucks, you know? It really does. Yeah, Sunday Samuel's being a weirdo, speaking of him. He's wanting attention. I think he's trying to do the Antonio Brown thing. I think he's trying to, you know, not as extreme, but I think he's trying to get some of that going on X. Yeah, Super Bowl 42, man. I'm indestructible. I wrote this on X. I said, I got so much PTSD from Super Bowl 42, I'm untouchable now. I can lose Super Bowls, and nothing's going to hurt like that one. And I tell you, you never get over it. You know, these Seahawks fans are all saying, they're all posting on X that this is revenge. This is a revenge game for Super Bowl 49. I said, nothing is a revenge game for Super Bowl 49. Nothing. Nothing will ever fix it. For you, if you are a Seahawks fan, nothing will ever fix that game. Nothing will ever fix throwing an interception on the 1-yard line when you had what looked like a guaranteed Super Bowl on your hands. Nothing will fix that, okay? You can create a Seattle dynasty with Sam Darnold, and it will not fix that, okay? Trust me. Okay, we've done it. We had a whole new dynasty after Super Bowl 42, and it still hasn't fixed it. Still hasn't fixed it. It still bugs me. Still angers me. It's still like, just not angers me for real, but you know, it's frustrating. Nothing will fix that. Win 10 more Super Bowls. It's always going to bother you. So these Seattle fans thinking that they're about to get revenge and feel better about Super Bowl 49, you're going to temporarily be happy that your team won, but it ain't going to fix it. And let me tell you this, the more you win, the more it will bother you, because now you're adding, you're counting rings and you're counting victories, and you're like, that one should have been in the victory column, you know? But then you go back, and then we start the discussion again, and then you might end up in a whole situation where, what if we won? Then that might have changed this and changed this and changed this, and you know, blah 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 blah. Like, okay, if we win in 2006 the AFC Championship game against the Colts, we go on to play the Bears. Let's say that we win and beat the Bears. Well, we never get Randy Moss. And we never get Dante Stallworth, and we never get Wes Welker, because Belichick still feels that his team is ran by defense, okay? And that's how the play. He doesn't need to go out and keep up with the Colts and start this high-flying offense stuff, okay? So Brady never wins the MVP in 2007. We don't go undefeated. We don't have that run there, right? And maybe 07 is when we suck. and maybe we suck. And then there's no opportunity to get those other players and then like have a good, decent few years. Again, but we have that Super Bowl, but then maybe that turns into some garbage. And then Brady doesn't have the 16-0, doesn't have the 07, the greatest quarterback year ever. And then now maybe Brady's not a Patriot by the time we get to 2011 and 2012. He's gone. And then like 2014 doesn't happen, 2016 and 2018 doesn't happen. See what I'm saying? Like, you change one thing, you change everything. The timeline is a Jenga tower, right? You start pulling stuff. Okay. You can alter little things, but there's even a thing out there called the chaos theory. You guys know what that is? And the, what is it? Or the butterfly effect. Yeah. The butterfly effect, right? So, and then that, all this wishful thinking is great, Broncos fans, for Bo Nix. All this wishful thinking for Seattle, the what ifs, what could have been. Yeah. But let me tell you something, okay? Here's how I feel about the whole thing. The New York Giants got 2 Super Bowls against us. They won in 2007 and 2011. In between 2007 and 2011, they didn't do much. In between 2011 and to now, they still suck. I wonder if the Giants fans would want to be us instead. Take those 2 losses, but win in 14, 16, and 18. Go to the Super Bowl 17. Now we're going back to the Super Bowl in 2025. Do you see what I mean? So we may have lost those, but we never fell into obscurity. But they don't have that feeling anymore. The Giants fans have not felt anything. Okay, as Patriots fans, we have these years that we look back on. We even non-Super Bowl years that we have, okay? We have non-Super Bowl years that we can look at and enjoy them because we just were so dominant and played so well and so good. Take your pick, whatever year you want. And we can go back and look how good we did. Giants fans can't do that. Giants fans can't even really do that on the years they won the Super Bowl. Because if you try to go back and reminisce about the 2007 season, regular season, Giants were a dumpster fire for half of that. Okay? It was a mess. There's not a lot of great things to look at there. Okay? Dysfunctional. Is the coach going to be fired? All this junk. Is Strahan retiring? Him fighting with the media all the time. But look what we have. Look what we have to look back on. So it's the whole like whatever. Yeah, Giants got us twice. That's fine. It's okay. Whatever. The 2011 one, I don't even. It's whatever. That one pisses me off the least. Okay. 2007's the worst. The Philadelphia Eagles is second worst because that one just angers me because that was a free Super Bowl right in our hands. That should have been a dominant performance. If Belichick just even was a 10% not a complete retard that day, we win that game, I think, in my opinion. Okay. All right. We could have came close anyway. So, but hey, who knows? Might have gone, like I said earlier, might have gone the other direction. Belichick does what we thought he should have done. It could have been much worse. Could have gotten worse. Although I don't think it could have. It doesn't seem like it could have, but it could have gone the other direction. Just don't know. Okay? Again, just don't know. If the defense is playing better, then now the offense is not doing all the things it was doing, and maybe we don't score as much, and Brady doesn't break that record. So see, the offense changes. So maybe that's different too. Okay? And I would love all these things to be true, and it's all, yeah. But that one pisses me off second, okay? The one that pisses me off the least is 2011 because I didn't even think we had any business being in that damn Super Bowl. I thought we overachieved. Okay? I thought we overachieved. I thought that Tom Brady carried that damn team kicking and screaming all the way into the Super Bowl. You guys remember the AFC Championship game against the Ravens and how that ended, right? I mean, we just we just scratched and clawed to get to that Super Bowl, man. It was just, really the only thing that we had was beating up on Tim Tebow, but that was fun, but yeah. Going into that Super Bowl, I felt the Giants were better than us. I was just like, wow, I wasn't that surprised, the game went the way it did. So that one doesn't bother me. And I don't even care that it's against the Giants. I don't, that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care who, oh, you lost to the Giants twice. Well, whoop de damn do. Who cares? It's losing twice sucks, in general. Whether it's the Giants or whether it was a different team, it still sucks. Okay. It could have been the 49ers. 49ers were in the NFC Championship game. They probably were the better team that year. They were pretty damn good, if you guys remember. So that was Alex Smith, and that would hurt, but whether it's the Giants or not, don't care about that. So whatever, And now we have a rematch again against Seattle. I don't know about you guys, but as a Patriots fan, I don't give a flying crap that it's Seattle, the Seattle that we played in Super Bowl 49. To me, it doesn't even mean anything. It's a completely different team. It's completely different. It's just, at this point, it's a logo that we're playing. So it's not Seattle anymore, the same Seattle that we played. It's not Pete Carroll's Seattle. It's not Russell Wilson out there. It's not the Legion of Boom out there. It's a whole different group. Hell, even the owner's dead. So it's not even Paul Allen. So, we might as well be playing the Carolina Panthers or the Eagles again. It doesn't really mean anything as far as a repeat, but yeah. Yeah, Israel, that's what we were talking about the other day, that I said this to people on X about Nick Foles, and I said, Carson Wentz doesn't do that. Carson Wentz doesn't win that Super Bowl, doesn't go on that run, even though he was in the MVP running before he got injured. And why I say that is because that locker room believed that Nick Foles had some kind of, help from God. They really believed that he had some like Tim Tebow thing going on. And doesn't matter what you guys believe or what I believe and how things like that work. The locker room believed it. And that means that they're buying into it. And so they followed Nick Foles and they believed that he was unstoppable. And the damn dude ended up winning. So, and it worked. It worked with that team. And that's just the way it is. Oh, Josh, yeah, that 2010 loss to the Jets, that one sucked. That one sucked. It especially sucks because the guy at the next table next to me was Terry Glenn. It's like, imagine, I remember him laughing. He was sitting there laughing because we were all having meltdowns. And I guess he just thought it was funny. But I didn't think it was funny at the time. I know he's a player, so as a player, he probably sees it differently, but it sucks. See, that's a game where you thought that was a sure win. It's like free trip to the AFC Championship game. Boom. Just make it happen. Pencil it in. It's done. No, Gronk broke his arm in a regular season game in 2012. Gronk, yeah, Gronk broke his arm in 2012. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to leave you. I've got to get ready. We're going to go out to eat. So I have a 9:30 reservation at Dorsia. If you guys get that reference. If you guys get that reference, you are awesome. But I will see you guys tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. I'm excited. I can't believe we're back in the Super Bowl. This is weird, right? This is weird. We're back. We're back. We're back. Who would have thought we were going to be back? I mean, it looked like obscurity was our thing now. And it seemed deserved, like it seemed like that's how it works, right? It was our time. It was our turn to suck. All right. And it was other people's turn to be good. Sorry, AFC East, Bills, Jets, Dolphins. We gave you a chance. We sucked crap for years. You had an opening and you didn't capitalize, and now we're taking that shit back. Okay. That's it. Exactly. We're all we got. We're all we need, because nobody believes in us. No, everyone hates us. Everyone hates us. Okay. And I'm loving it. And I cannot wait after we win to get on X and look at all of the meltdowns. Oh, you won a Super Bowl beating Sam Darnold. That's going to be the number one comment. Okay. Is that you beat Sam Darnold. You didn't beat anybody. You didn't beat any good quarterbacks. You didn't have to go against the MVP, staph infection. That's what they're going to say. That's what they're going to say. And if we lose, it's going to be like, see, told you were frauds. Yeah. We frauded our ass all the way to the Super Bowl. Yeah. That's thanks for that. I love the Bills fans and the Denver fans on X calling us frauds. Aren't they at home? It's just, even Chiefs fans calling us frauds. Oh, Patrick Mahomes was playing. He would have been dominating. I think Patrick got sent home before the regular season even ended, dude. All right? And don't tell me about his injury. He was finished. They were losing. It was over. So, suck it. We're back in, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay? That's it. Bye-bye.
Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports.